first ran the 10K 4 years ago, I believe. The first year I just ran it because I had some friends that were running it. I had never done the 10K before, and I didn't fundraise for Massey that year. I just think it's a really fun event in Richmond. Usually, a lot of the community turns out, even if you're not a runner. I think it's pretty easy to finish because it's flat and everyone in Richmond is cheering you on that's not running. So the first year I did it was just kind of a for fun thing with a couple of friends. I've always been a casual runner, so I always try to finish it in an hour or so, but I never really trained too hardcore for it or anything like that. The second year I did it, I decided to fundraise for Massey, and that was the first time that I had done it. I really just kind of took a low-key approach to my fundraising effort, and I raised a little bit of money, and Massey works with the sports backers we're their main beneficiary for the Monument Avenue 10K. So none of the registration fees from the 10K go to Massey, but when people sign up to run in the 10K, they get the option to fundraise for Massey, and it's called the Massey Fundraising Challenge. So through the committee, we get in touch with the YMCA training program, people that are doing that, a lot of the bigger companies that are in Richmond. We encourage them to put together teams, either their employees, churches can get their members to put together teams, other groups that are in Richmond can put teams together and fundraise together as a group for Massey, or individuals can fundraise as well.
Well, we've been affiliated with the Massey Cancer Center for years because we've always run with this race, and it's a great cause and it's a great fun thing to do, but we all know people who've been stricken with cancer, and this year our good friend Ferd Baruch, who's married to Janet, was diagnosed with leukemia. And now 92 of us, is that the size of the 96 of the herd for Ferd are running today to honor Ferd Baruch and support the Massey Cancer Center and all the efforts that they go through to help cure our friends.
What's the most exciting part about the day?
Today is seeing all the people out here and how many people are actually here, but ultimately it's going to be running by Ferd's house and looking at the smile on his bald head as we run by.
Virtually everyone is affected by cancer at some point. The statistics are really kind of grim. 1 out of 3 women and 1 out of 2 men will be affected by cancer in their lifetime. So when you think about people with their extended families and their friends, it means that virtually everyone will either have cancer or have a loved one, a family member, or a close friend affected by cancer. So with the high incidence of this disease, unfortunately, we're truly all affected by cancer.
The Massey Cancer Center is part of the VCU health system. It's located in downtown Richmond, Virginia. They provide clinical treatments for patients that have been diagnosed with cancer, but they also have a large number of researchers there that are working to try to find new treatments or cures for the cancers that are treated there. So it's kind of a unique facility in that you have research going on in the same place that people are being treated every day for cancers in Richmond.
Well, Massey Cancer Center is a National Cancer Institute designated cancer center at Virginia Commonwealth University. We are what is known as a matrix center, in that our 180 members, faculty members of the Cancer Center, come from 28 different departments throughout the university. And our focus is on research and on taking that research and developing better treatment, prevention, and detection of cancer.
People come from all over, and people come from all over Virginia, and I don't think it's uncommon for people to come from outside of Virginia as well, especially if they're in a state that doesn't have as sophisticated of a cancer treatment facility. It's a good place for them to come from the region on the East Coast and even a little more northeast to be treated. The research facility is the main entrance to the Cancer Center. When you walk in, you can see the gardens that they've built outside. If you look straight through the lobby, there are a lot of seating areas for families or for patients that are there for a long time during the day. And I think a lot of what makes the building unique is just the people that work at Massey. That you'll walk through the building and people will always say hello to you. If you're there constantly for treatments, they'll usually know you by name and acknowledge you and say hi. So I think just their personalities brighten the space up. It's a very warm and welcoming place, and it's not what you normally think of when you think of a hospital.
The goal of the center is really to bring together the intellectual talent of the university throughout all the different departments involved, and to focus it on the problem of cancer, and to develop better ways to detect, to prevent, and to treat cancer.
When they built the new research facility, what they did that was different than the old facility. As opposed to having a lot of smaller labs that are all enclosed within 4 walls, they made it much more open. The idea being that then people that are in different labs and working on different projects can collaborate more easily. So when you walk into this space, it's a very large room with a number of benches set up parallel to each other. And they've created spaces where researchers can sit together and talk about their findings or talk about their research and kind of brainstorm. So I think it's creative, and I don't know that many other places do that, but they've really made it a place where people can collaborate, and hopefully working together they can come up with new ideas and sort of spur results to come a little bit faster.
So yes, there certainly are two sides to our cancer center, but to cancer research and cancer medicine in general, and that's the clinical side where you'll receive the treatments for cancer, and then the basic side where it's more focused on the basic biology of cancer and how we can research the next generation of therapies and cures to cancer. And it's good and appropriate that these be separated for some things, because many of the therapies that we want in the clinic are those that have been proven to be efficacious, those that are going to help the patient. And in order to develop those, we need a vibrant basic science and clinical research enterprise as well, where we can develop the new therapies and then test them in a way that once they reach the level at which they'll be clinically used, they're safe and efficacious.
I think one of the unique aspects of Massey Cancer Center is having the research going on here, the power of that research to understand the fundamental defects in cancer cells and to target specific defects, then having the research clinicians who are able to translate that rapidly into better treatment. It really brings cutting-edge treatment of cancer right here to Richmond, and sometimes the first in the country for new treatments for specific kinds of cancer.
I think the end result is hopefully to be able to find a way to cure cancer, to give patients that come to oncologists with a cancer diagnosis the hope that they will be able to have a life afterwards and that their cancer will be gone and will be cured. I think that's probably a very long-term goal. I think probably more short-term, the idea is to develop better and better treatments, which research has done a phenomenal job of in even recent years. I think if you read about what people went through that had cancer even 10 or 15 years ago and compare that to the treatments now, people's quality of life is just so much better while they're being treated now than it was then. So I think short-term, it's finding ways to treat it better and to allow people to continue to live their lives while they're being treated, and to kind of make cancer less of a case of the treatment is worse than the disease than maybe it had been before, and make it much more manageable.